very good day to everybody. My presentation is the last in the first part of the day, and I understand that you are maybe tired and might be some of you already thinking about lunch, but still. I invite you to imagine and to think about your solutions, about tasks of your clients, not from the present, but from the future challenges, future resources, because the world around us is constantly changing. A few years ago, the concept of the fourth industrial revolution was perceived skeptically. As of today, this topic has moved from the format of expert discussions into an active implementation phase, meaning real investments and results. The concept of Industry 4.0 inevitably affects GPS and GLONASS market, becoming one of the main factors that radically transforms it. This is because the fourth industrial revolution is based on the concept of Internet of Things, which implies a coherent information space in which systems and equipment can interact with each other without human intervention. These changes led to the fact that the use of GPS devices for monitoring commercial transport, public transport, is no longer sufficient enough. And remote and typical tasks fade into the background, giving way to a specific and non-standard projects. The same thing we see on practice. For example, this large company, MRSK, has a problem with implementation a high quality and reliable power supply for his clients. The problem was that there were no automation, and in case of technological accidents, the whole areas remained without light and electricity. As well as this problem is very common to villages where wires were bad enough, and during bad weather, such as rain or snow, the wires would break off. And this is not about not being able to kettle a bottle, or this is not about remaining without internet. The problem is more difficult. The problem is about human life. The problem is about emergency services. Everything could not continue work because there was no automation. After the implementation of the first stage, they can adjust and automate the dispatch system. After that, the operator in real time can see where is the accident has occurred and where is the nearest service team is located. Also, using one kind of equipment, they can automate the management system because they are controlling one type of devices. This helps to reduce logistic costs and increase the efficiency. On the other hand, as an example of a specific solution, Galileosky devices can service technological processes separated in time and space. For example, wine production, from growing seedlings to transporting and processing grapes. This is a complicated process which consists of several stages. Most of them were automated by Galileosky devices. It all can reduce error probability, makes the production more coherent, and eliminates the human factor. But what is the role of the devices in this process? At the first stage, the devices are prepared in large refrigeration units, and with the help of sensors, temperature sensors, humidity sensors, the device determines the optimal mode of microclimate and adjusting it in accordance with predetermined program. Next, cultivation stage. With the help of 10 sensors, devices monitor the soil moisture, the air temperature, and with the help of Modbus protocol, after that transmits to the server. At the harvesting stage, which is 35% of all labor's cost, the devices determine the grape variety, the volume of the harvested crop, and as well determine the field where the grapes were cultivated. But the collection is not enough. Everything still needs to be taken to the factory, again without any losses. And Galileosky devices are in control. First, at the stage of weight control, where the data from electronic scales is received by the device via RS-232 and transmits to the server along with the driver's identification. At the factory again, a repeated weight control is carried out. And after that, the grapes enter the next step of processing. Further on, with the help of 30 devices, Galileosky units determine and manage the process of squeezing the juice. And after that, the grapes enter to the next step of processing. This example clearly demonstrates the widespread spread of Galileosky devices, the widespread use of Galileosky devices, and the project was implemented by our partner from Rostov-on-Don, company Intera. The colleagues are now in the audience, and I am sure will be glad to give detalization. And by the way, on the second part of the day, the general manager of the company Intera has a presentation on that case, and I strongly recommend you to visit it. This is the example of our partner from Indonesia. You know that McDonald's has a set strict of unified standards, in according to which, no matter the country, you will always get the same quality of food and the same quality of taste. And in this case, a lot of responsibility falls onto the driver to deliver product in its original state, in time. And Indonesian branch of McDonald's in Jakarta faced an issue with cold chain monitoring and with a precise control over temperatures, and again remote in a large amount of data. Previously, they received the information from sensors, which were not quite precise and accurate. And after the integration with refrigeration units such as Thermoking, Carrier, Euroscan, the data started to come directly from the refrigeration unit to the device, and our client received about 4 different parameters of temperature, like product frozen, product chiller, room temperature frozen, and air return. With the help of such small steps, we can increase the safety of the driver and the cargo, minimize the risk of compromising the cargo, as well as reduce fleet management cost and paperwork. Every country, sorry, this is not that presentation, and that's a problem. I will tell you about different case. I will tell you about the case from Brazil. Car sharing is also a very interesting case, but still, I think that Brazil will be more useful for you. Okay, each country has its own features of using GPS devices. And for example, in Brazil, where I live, more than 211 people, and the number of registered vehicles exceeds 1 million vehicles. People face with acute issues with speeding, with cargo safety, driver safety, vehicle safety as well, and driver's control behavior. And there is no law regulations about drivers' rest and work, and the existing tachographs, they are only for controlling the speed limit. And at the same time, the crime rate is extremely high, so you could find a lot of robberies with the help of GSM jamming signal. For example, only in 2017, in one city, Rio de Janeiro, were stolen more than 45,000 of vehicles. That means imagine 150 cars per day, or one car every 10 minutes. Is there any way to counteract this? Yes, of course, because Galileosky devices is a unique unit which can replace a tachograph, a schedule controller, or a cargo guard. If you need to control driver's behavior, in accordance, for example, with the European regulations, no problem. A small algorithm will help you, will monitor the time of constant movement and take care of rest periods through audio alerts. In Brazil, there is a restriction to move at night, and heavy trucks should stay on parking. And if the driver is moving during the night, the device will send constant notifications about violations. Also, to control the speed limits, all country was divided into polygonal geofences, within which individual speed limits were set. While the driver entering the zone, immediately notification about appropriate speed limit is sent to the driver. It can be audio file of warnings, for instance, like unsafe part of the road, speeding, warnings, etc. Everything is possible with the help, everything is done with the help of easy logic technology, because its possibilities are endless, and you could create whatever you wish. I'm really afraid to open the next slide, because let us see. Okay. I think that most of you, everybody of you, know about the highest tower in the world, 828 meters Burj Khalifa. Its developer, MR Properties, uses Galileosky devices for passengers distribution of more than 7,000 of its employees. And it would seem that the solution is pretty easy, just count passengers, but MR Properties has get additional functionality from Galileosky devices. They can easily calculate how many passengers were moved to each construction site, how many empty buses are how many empty seats are on the bus, and when the bus can be sent to another location after transporting all people. As a result, the routes and logistics are increased, as well as efficiency. This project was realized by our partner Location Solutions and Charles Azraq. Presented cases today are the only small part of all functionality that was implemented by our partners independently, while they get an access to easy logic technology. So that means that you can easily integrate a complex device, a complex sensor with a non-standard protocol, or optimize production cycle. That means no matter how sophisticated, how specific your task is, you will definitely find a solution with Galileosky and easy logic technology. And if you need to transmit a large amount of data, if you need to work with innovative product and real professionals, then definitely use Violon, whose specialists will help you with processing, with transferring, and with everything. Thank you very much for your attention. In case of questions, you are welcome.
Thank you very much, Julia. Do we have any questions from the audience? Please raise your hands. All right, then while you're still thinking about the questions, I have a question. A few times you were mentioning the easy logic technology. So can you tell us a little bit more about it? Why is it unique? What is special about that?
Yes, the technology of easy logic is a unique functionality, because with the help of this you could set certain reactions on different events. So you do not need to know some languages of programming. Every tool is inside the device in configurator. You could set different parameters on different events, for instance, external events, like receiving commands from software. And after receiving, do some actions like block the engine, take a picture, or whatever. At the same time, you could analyze internal events and set internal reactions. For example, analyzing outputs, changing outputs, discrete analog frequency, etc. Well, and after that, maybe identify some parameters from CAN and send an SMS or make a call or close or open output. The possibilities are endless, and there are a lot of scenarios that you could use.
Thank you. One more question that I have. You mentioned that you can use Galileosky devices, if I understood you right, without using tachographs. Is that right?
Absolutely.
Okay, so you just need one piece of equipment to manage online activity of the drivers, right?
Correct.
Mm-hmm. And another question regarding that project in Dubai. So you were counting passengers. That's one of the features in the project. Again, you did not use any additional equipment like RFID readers or anything, right? Just Galileosky.
No, we used additional equipment, RFID, for counting passengers, of course. Yes, it's
okay.
necessary.
Just wanted to, yeah.
Because Galileosky devices gives the possibilities of connecting devices. It is easy to integrate any device by your own. So if you need that connection RFID or I button for counting passengers, there is no need to address that request to us. You just, with the help of EasyLogic, can do it separately.
In the configurator.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Any question? Again, a question from Mustafa.
Mustafa from Rokka High Tech. I want to ask about the side of Wayalon. For example, if we implement new functionality in Galileosky device, it will be analyzed automatically by Wayalon, or there will be some work to do in this side, developing or something to implement newly.
Okay, if I understand you correctly, you are asking about, can you receive some analyzing of data from device, Galileosky device, or you could receive it only through Wayalon? Yeah, correct?
In the other side.
Other side.
Yeah.
Yes, of course you can receive a lot of parameters via device. By the way, you could even set some of parameters by your own with the help of device. And sometimes it is not necessary to ask Wayalon specialists or go to the server to make some changes in the configuration. So it is possible to do with the help of configurator, which is absolutely free. You could download it from our website.
And from Wayalon's, if I may answer Wayalon part of the question. From Wayalon side, we do improve our protocol. So once the protocol is integrated and something was changed, I don't know, in the firmware, there is something new with the device, then you can send a request to our hardware team to implement those changes on the software side if necessary. So we improve current protocols as well. Well, thank you very much. Please give a round of applause to Julia. If you have more questions, you can talk at the show to her and other Galileosky representatives. And I'm happy to announce the lunch time. So we have a lunch for 1 hour